we're serving a mom that has a child in foster care. How do we encourage her to sort of co-parent with foster family? And even a lot of the moms we serve have a child in court mandated placement, but maybe it's a relative or non-relative.
Sure.
And they're the enemy now.
Yeah.
Because they're just the ones that are like trying to be the protector of the child, and mom might be experiencing a host of things. And so how do we help moms rewrite and kind of reframe their thinking of what their relationship almost in this season of co-parenting looks like? How can we encourage?
That's really good. That's good. Let me say this, sort of just in this small context. I think it's important to say that there are many foster parents, too many foster parents, who do not have a redemptive, restorative perspective on foster care. And they really are entering foster care to build their families. And they really are coming with maybe at best, sort of the arrogance and ignorance that we both confess we came into. And at worst are coming in potentially with I am ready to judge, and I'm looking to bring this child into my family. And so I think we need to be a little bit sensitive to that and know that it doesn't always play out the way that we think it should with foster parents. But I think one thing that's helpful is to really encourage them to keep it about the children, especially in the context of family relationships where it can be really complicated. And one way to do that is to ask a lot of questions that hopefully lead them to the conclusion of what's best for their child. Yeah. So that the child doesn't become sort of like a pawn in a relational conflict with a family member. Is things like, well, what do you think kiddo would like to do for their birthday? What do you think? And just sort of leading them to hopefully coming to the place of doing what's best for the child without the complicated relational dynamics between their other family members or the foster parents. Because if we're all doing that, the hope is that we come to the same conclusion, that these kids are better off being with both sets of parents who love them on their birthday, that these kids are better off not being in a push and pull dynamic of what they're allowed to do one place and what they're not allowed to do another. And so our questions leading them to answer for themselves what's going to be in the best interest of the child, and sort of ignoring the more complicated relational dynamics with the adults.
Yeah. And it can become so just messy. Yeah. And what would you say to an advocate of like, is it responsible to at times almost play that liaison between mom and maybe foster parents, maybe the other family members, like the more parties that we can get to the table and have clear understanding of expectations and needs, the better? Or at times, is it appropriate that there is space between?
I mean, my answer to that would be that the more people who are at the table who are trauma informed and have a perspective of restoration and redemption, the better. What can be challenging is not everyone is coming to the table in that way. And so I love how you are building this culture in your volunteers and your advocates. And so my assumption would be that the presence of the people who are listening to conversations like this are most likely going to make things better. And that offering that, even just as I'm on your side. Yeah. What we need to remember is a lot of times our kids' moms are vilified. And even in these family dynamics, it's the whole family versus mom. It is the whole court system versus mom. And just being the person who is like there for them and they're on their side. So when I'm joining a family team meeting or coming to court, it's like, I'm here for you. I'm here with you. And not even, well, the goal would sort of be neutrality and to help mediate that, for her to feel like I have a person here with me and they want what's best for me. Even just that them feeling like you have their back could help potentially be less defensive.
Yeah. And advocates, I think us serving as a party that can color in some of the details for people that
Mm,
are making decisions based on this family. A lot of the caseworkers that we work with, we are so grateful for their service in this space. We believe that they love people. That's why they got into this work, and they're totally overworked and
yeah.
overwhelmed. So how do we make their job easier and also just provide clarity and details around, wait, that's actually not what happened. Like,
Right,
here's what
right.
happened and why
Sure.
mom didn't get to that appointment, not just because she was being lazy or negligent, but
Right, sure.
whatever led up to that. And that we get to not just be a voice, but give mom a voice and be that person that's going to fight for that and really owning the brokenness in that space and in our city.